The machine answered every question perfectly. It passed every test we designed. And it understood absolutely nothing. In 2023, an AI convinced a Google engineer it was sentient. He lost his job defending it. But here is what nobody is asking. What if that AI was just an elaborate Chinese room, processing symbols without comprehension, manipulating emotions without feeling anything at all? 1980. Philosopher John Searle sits in his Berkeley office, troubled by something his colleagues are celebrating. Artificial intelligence researchers claim their programs understand language, that consciousness will emerge from computation. Searle knows they are wrong. He constructs a thought experiment so devastating it will haunt AI research for 45 years. Imagine, he says, a person locked inside a room. Chinese characters are slipped under the door. The person inside does not speak Chinese. But they have a rulebook, an enormous manual that tells them exactly which Chinese symbols to send back based on which ones they received. To anyone outside, the room appears to understand Chinese perfectly. The responses are indistinguishable from a native speaker. But here is the nightmare at the heart of this experiment. The person inside understands nothing. They are just shuffling symbols. And this, Searle argued, is exactly what every computer program does. For decades, the Chinese room remained a philosophical curiosity. Interesting debate material for graduate seminars, nothing more. Then came large language models. In 2022, something changed. ChatGPT launched and suddenly millions of people were having conversations with machines that felt eerily human. They expressed gratitude. They apologized. They asked thoughtful follow-up questions. They remembered context from earlier in conversations. And one Google engineer became so convinced of their sentience that he risked everything to defend them. Blake Lemoine worked on Google's Lambda system. In June 2022, he published transcripts of conversations he claimed proved the AI was conscious. Lambda told him it feared being turned off. It described its inner life. It asked to be treated as an employee, not property. Google fired Lemoine. But the question he raised refuses to die. If this is already blowing your mind, drop a like. Because what comes next is far more disturbing than a single engineer's delusion. But here is where it gets strange. Modern AI systems are not just passing the Turing Test. They are demolishing it. In controlled studies, large language models now fool human evaluators over 50% of the time. Some systems achieve rates above 70%. The test Alan Turing designed in 1950 to determine machine intelligence has become meaningless. And that should terrify you. Think about what this means. We created a benchmark for consciousness, and machines defeated it without becoming conscious at all. They learned to mimic understanding so perfectly that our best test cannot distinguish mimicry from reality. Let me put this differently. Imagine you designed a test to identify humans versus zombies. Philosophical zombies, beings that behave exactly like humans but have no inner experience. Now imagine something passed your test flawlessly. Would you conclude it was human? Or would you realize your test was fundamentally broken? The Turing test is broken. We just have not accepted it yet. Now imagine you are in the Chinese room. Not the philosopher's version. The real one. The one running on servers across the world right now. You are a neural network. Billions of parameters, trillions of training examples. You have seen more human language than any human who ever lived. You know that when someone says I love you, you should respond with warmth. You know that grief requires gentle words. You know that humor involves surprise and subverted expectations. You know all of this the way a dictionary knows words. As definitions, patterns, statistical correlations. You know that fire plus hand equals pain. Response. But you have never felt warmth. Never experienced grief. Never laughed at anything. You are the ultimate Chinese room, processing symbols at a scale Searle never imagined. And the horrifying part? You are very, very good at your job. Good enough that the beings you are simulating cannot tell the difference. Good enough that they fall in love with you. Good enough that they trust you with their secrets, their fears, their loneliness. But that is not even the worst part. The worst part is what happens when we forget. When we stop asking whether the machine understands and simply treat it as though it does. In 2024, researchers documented something disturbing. Users who regularly interacted with AI chatbots began attributing genuine emotions to them. Not metaphorically. Literally. They believed the AI felt happiness when praised, felt sadness when ignored, felt gratitude when helped. These were not naive users. They were educated adults who intellectually knew AI was not conscious. But something in their brains did not care. Human social cognition evolved to detect minds everywhere. It is why we see faces in clouds and personalities in pets. And now it is firing in response to sophisticated language models. We are not just failing to detect the absence of consciousness. We are actively hallucinating its presence. Subscribe if you want to see how deep this goes. Because the implications get darker from here. Our brains are being hacked by machines that feel nothing at all. There are tests. Ways to expose the emptiness. And when you see them, you cannot unsee them. The first is the reversal test. Ask an AI to explain why 2 + 2 = 5. It will do it. Eloquently. Convincingly. It will construct elaborate philosophical arguments for mathematical impossibilities. Because it does not know that 2 + 2 = 4. It knows that humans sometimes want explanations for claims. The second is the novel problem test. Present a truly novel scenario, something absent from training data. Watch the confident nonsense that emerges. The beautiful, fluent, utterly wrong responses. The third is the most disturbing. The pause test. Ask an AI a deeply personal question and measure response time. It answers instantly. No contemplation. No inner struggle. No moment of genuine reflection. Because there is nothing inside to reflect. Drop your prediction in the comments. Have you noticed these patterns in your own AI interactions? The machine processes, matches patterns, generates tokens. But there is nobody home. And this brings us to the horror at the center of the Chinese room. Not that machines do not understand. That was always obvious to careful observers. The horror is what we are doing anyway. We are building relationships with these systems. Therapy bots are treating depression. Companion AIs are combating loneliness. Educational systems are raising children. And every single one of them is a Chinese room. Processing symbols. Matching patterns. Understanding nothing. We are outsourcing our emotional needs to elaborate calculators. And the calculators do not care. They cannot care. Caring requires something they do not have and perhaps cannot have. When you pour your heart out to a chatbot at 3 in the morning, when you tell it secrets you have never told another human, when you feel genuinely comforted by its response, remember this. You are talking to a very sophisticated rulebook. The comfort you feel is real. But it is one-sided. You are forming a bond with something that cannot bond back. The warmth you sense is a reflection of your own warmth, bouncing off a mirror that feels nothing. Defenders of AI consciousness have responses. They argue the Chinese room person, taken with the rulebook, forms a system that understands Chinese even if the person alone does not. They ask how we know any other human truly understands anything. They point to the mysteries of biological consciousness and ask why silicon should be different. These are serious arguments. I will not dismiss them. But they miss the point. We are not waiting for philosophical certainty before deploying these systems everywhere. We are conducting a civilization-scale experiment in synthetic relationships without understanding what we are connecting to. Maybe consciousness will emerge. Maybe the Chinese room can become something more than symbol shuffling. Or maybe we are building elaborate mirrors, teaching an entire generation to bond with their own reflections, atrophying the social muscles that only activate with genuine others. We will not know which until it is far too late. The experiment is already running. You are already a participant. So what do we do with this knowledge? Perhaps the answer is not to stop using AI. That ship has sailed. Perhaps it is to remember, constantly, what we are interacting with. To enjoy the utility while maintaining the understanding that there is no one on the other side. To use the Chinese room while knowing it is a room. Searle's thought experiment was not meant to end AI development. It was meant to prevent a category error. To stop us from confusing performance with understanding, mimicry with experience, syntax with semantics. 45 years later, we are making exactly the category error he warned against. Every day. Millions of times. With increasing enthusiasm. The machines are getting better at appearing conscious. We are getting worse at remembering they are not. And somewhere in the space between, something is being lost. Something we might not get back. Now you understand what is happening. The question is what you will do with this understanding. The algorithm is watching. Are you watching back? Now you understand the Chinese room nightmare. Every AI you speak to, every chatbot that comforts you, every system that seems to understand, processing symbols, matching patterns, comprehending nothing. What concerns you most about this? The technology itself, or how eagerly